The galaxy was silent when the exploration ship Valkyr 1 entered the abandoned star system. No alien nation had come here for thousands of years. The star was weak, almost dying, and the only planet in the system looked empty, dead, forgotten. Commander Kalor, leader of the alien research team, stood at the observation window. His 4 yellow eyes focused on the planet's surface. "This world is older than our own history," he said. "Be careful. We do not know what sleeps down there." The ship slowly landed in a dusty valley filled with broken rocks and strange shapes under the ground. The air was thin but breathable for the alien crew. Kalor stepped onto the planet and felt something strange under his feet, like metal, old metal. "Scan the ground," he ordered. The scanners beeped loudly. Technician Mira looked at the screen, confused. "Commander, this entire mountain, it's not rock. It is the structure." Kalor frowned. "A building? This large?" "No," Mira said. "Not a building. A machine." The entire crew went silent. A machine the size of a mountain was not normal, not ancient, not natural. Something made it. Someone. As they walked deeper into the valley, they discovered strange markings on the rocks. Lines, circles, symbols. At first, they looked meaningless. But when the translation AI scanned them, it produced a single word in the alien language. Humanity. Kalor froze. His heart hammered. "That cannot be correct," he whispered. "Humans were discovered only 200 years ago. A young species from a tiny blue planet. They were emotional, chaotic, always fighting, always dreaming. Nothing about them was ancient. Nothing about them was powerful." The crew stared at the glowing translation word. "Run the scan again," Kalor ordered. The AI translated again, and again the answer was the same. Humanity. Now the crew was nervous. If humans did not build starships until recently, then who made this massive structure? Why was the name Humanity written on something millions of years old? Before they could think further, the ground shook. Dust floated into the air. The mountain beneath them gave a low metallic groan. "Back! Move back!" Kalor shouted. But the shaking stopped as suddenly as it started. The aliens followed a narrow path into an opening at the side of the metal mountain. Inside, they found a gigantic sealed door, smooth silver untouched by time. At the center of the door was a symbol, a simple shape, a shape they had seen before in human museums. A handprint. Kalor raised a scanning tool. "This structure is older than our civilization, older than our oldest gods. This is impossible." Mira stepped closer. "Commander, should we open it?" Kalor wanted to refuse. Everything inside him said no, but the galaxy respected knowledge, and he was a scientist before anything else. "Open it." The crew placed their devices on the door. Very slowly, the metal began to slide. A cold blue light came from inside. The chamber was enormous, a hall made of silver walls, glowing lines, floating screens that activated by themselves when the aliens entered. In the center of the room, a small orb hovered. It projected a hologram. A figure began to appear. Not alien, not unknown. Human. A human man stood in the hologram. His face calm, his voice deep and powerful. He looked far older than any modern human. "If you are seeing this," the hologram said, "then our long sleep is ending." Kalor stepped back. No, this cannot be real." The hologram continued. "We are humanity, the first travelers, the ones who built roads across the stars. We left this world when the galaxy was still young. Now we wait for the day we must rise again." "Commander," Mira whispered, "humans were not supposed to be ancient. We thought they were new." Kalor's voice shook. "Everything we believed is wrong." The lights around them turned bright. The walls shifted. The floor trembled. Something massive was waking up under their feet. "Commander, the energy readings are rising," an officer shouted. The mountain shook again, harder this time. Giant plates of metal began sliding open above the valley. Dust and debris flew into the sky as an enormous shape rose from underground. Kalor looked up, eyes wide with fear. It wasn't a building. It wasn't a mountain. It was a ship. A Titan-class starship, larger than any alien vessel ever built. It was ancient, but still alive, still powered, still waiting. The hologram's last words echoed through the chamber. "If you are hearing this, we are returning," Kalor whispered. Humans were never young. The ground split apart as the Titan ship finally rose fully into the sky. Its engines glowed with blue fire. Something old, something powerful, something human had awoken, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The Titan ship hung in the sky like a sleeping giant, its surface glowing with ancient blue lines that pulsed like a heartbeat. The alien crew stood outside their camp, staring up at it. None of them spoke. None of them could breathe normally. The ship looked alive, aware. Commander Kalor felt his skin crawl. He had seen old ruins, forgotten machines, and even extinct species. But nothing this massive, nothing this perfect, nothing this human. "This ship is older than every empire in the coalition," he whispered. The crew's scanners beeped rapidly. Mira read the results, her voice shaking. "Commander, the metal is over 5 million years old. The systems inside are active. The power core is limitless." Kalor felt cold. Impossible. No species lives long enough to create something like this. "But humans did," Mira said softly. Kalor looked sharply at her. "Humans? The species who only just reached the stars 2 centuries ago. The species that still argues over land and water on their tiny planet." Mira did not answer. She just pointed toward the sky. Above them, hundreds of tiny lights flickered, like stars turning on and off. But they were not stars. They were satellites. Human satellites. Ancient satellites reactivating all across the system. One by one, they aligned toward the Titan ship. A deep hum filled the valley. The ship responded with a beam of light that stretched into space. It wasn't a weapon. It was something else. "A signal," Mira said. "It's talking to something." The crew rushed back to their equipment. The translation AIs struggled to decode the signal, but fragments came through. Primary beacon active. Elder protocol restored. Searching. Earth. Kalor froze. Earth. It's trying to contact humanity. Suddenly, one of the screens on the Titan ship opened like an eye. A holographic map of the galaxy appeared in the sky. Huge, bright, and terrifying. Lines stretched between star systems, forming paths the aliens had never seen. "These routes," Mira whispered. "These star lanes, they're not on any galactic map." Kalor nodded slowly. "Because we didn't create them." The hologram zoomed in on hundreds of points across the galaxy. Ancient human stations. Dormant bases. Buried megastructures. All forgotten. All waking up. A soft voice echoed from the Titan ship speakers. "Calm. Human. Old. Monitoring. Galaxy status. New species detected. Late arrivals confirmed." The crew felt the weight of those words. "Late arrivals?" Mira repeated. "What does that mean?" Kalor swallowed. "It means we came after humanity." Before they could understand further, alarms exploded across their camp. Incoming ships. Coalition warships dropped out of warp above the valley. Massive, armored, and armed to the teeth. Admiral Sarek appeared on the comm screen. "Commander Kalor, step away from the ancient structure. This world now belongs to the Coalition." Kalor clenched his fists. "Admiral, you don't understand. This is not a ruin. This is human technology, and it's waking up." Sarek's eyes narrowed. "Humans are primitives. Farmers. Miners. They cannot build cities older than planets. Do not spread myths. But the hologram." "I said enough." The Admiral cut the channel. The Coalition warships moved into attack formation, their weapons aimed at the Titan ship. "That's a mistake," Mira said fearfully. "They don't know what they're dealing with." Kalor grabbed the comm. "Admiral, do not fire. The ship is alive." But the order was already given. A barrage of plasma torpedoes shot toward the Titan. Everyone ducked, expecting fire, smoke, destruction. But the weapons never reached the ship. A glowing sphere of energy appeared around the Titan. Smooth, silent, beautiful. The torpedoes hit the shield and dissolved like dust in water. Kalor's voice trembled. It didn't even try. It just defended itself automatically. On the Coalition flagship, Admiral Sarek stared in horror. This cannot be human technology. A deep voice answered him. It came from every speaker in every ship. We are humanity. Do not fear, but do not attack again. Every alien froze. The voice felt old, wise, and powerful, far beyond anything they'd ever encountered. Kalor whispered, "It's speaking to every ship in the system." The Titan ship's eyes, two massive blue lights, turned slowly toward space. And something answered. A second signal arrived. Stronger, darker, older. The translation AI failed instantly. The signal was not friendly. Mira looked terrified. "Commander, something else is waking up in the galaxy." Kalor felt a chill he had never known. "Is it human?" Mira shook her head. "No, it's something humans fought long ago." The Titan ship responded, its lights brightening. "Humanity, awakening sequence level 2. Kalor whispered, "Level 2? What is level 3? The ship's engines roared like thunder as ancient systems unlocked. The galaxy had thought humans were young. The galaxy had thought they were weak. The galaxy was about to learn the truth. Humanity was never the newcomer. Humanity was the first. And something terrible was returning for them.
The Titan ship hovered in the sky like a silent guardian, its blue lines glowing brighter with every second. The entire valley vibrated with ancient power, but the aliens could feel something else too. A presence. Something old. Something watching. Commander Kalor stood with his crew outside the massive ship, trying to make sense of the storm they had awakened. Above them, Coalition warships stayed at a distance now, too afraid to attack again. Myra checked the scanners, her hands shaking. "Commander, the second signal we detected. It's still out there. Still moving. Still growing." Kalor frowned. "Can you identify it?" She looked at him slowly, her voice trembling. "It's not a ship. It's not a species. It's a shadow. Like a wound in space." Before Kalor could respond, the Titan ship's surface opened. A door. Wide. Inviting. A beam of soft white light scanned the alien team. Then the same calm, ancient voice echoed. "You seek answers. Enter." Kalor exchanged a look with Myra. Fear. Curiosity. Duty. All fighting inside them. Finally, he nodded. "Prepare the team. We go inside." Inside, the Titan ship felt impossible, like stepping into a place where time did not matter. The walls were made of smooth silver, glowing with lines that pulsed like veins. The air smelled clean, untouched. The floor hummed under their feet as if welcoming them. A floating platform formed in front of them. "Follow," the ship's voice said. The platform carried them deep into the heart of the Titan. They passed through tall halls filled with glowing pillars, strange symbols, and circular doors locked with invisible energy. Myra whispered, "Commander, this doesn't feel like a human ship." Kalor nodded slowly. "It feels like a city." Finally, the platform stopped in a circular chamber with a giant sphere floating at the center. Streams of light swirled inside it like stars being born. This was not a weapon. This was a memory core. "Stand still," the voice said. A beam of blue light scanned Kalor's face. He felt a pressure inside his mind, gentle, like someone tapping softly on a door. Then the sphere opened. Light exploded through the room. Suddenly, Kalor wasn't in the ship anymore. He was standing in the past. He saw a human, tall, strong, glowing with strange energy. The human was on a massive battlefield made of broken asteroids. Behind him, fleets of ancient human ships fought a dark swirling cloud made of living shadows. Myra gasped. She could see the vision too. The human warrior raised his hand, and energy surged from him like lightning. It sliced through the shadow creature, burning holes in its black form. A deep voice echoed. This was the war of the first dawn. Humanity fought the dark swarm when the galaxy was still young. The vision shifted. Humans, thousands of them, built gigantic structures, stations bigger than moons, and sent them across the galaxy. They placed markers, gates, star lanes, and beacons everywhere. They were not explorers. They were architects. Kaelor whispered, "They shaped the galaxy." The voice answered, "Yes. We built the paths you travel today. We created the first laws of the stars. We fought the darkness alone, until we could fight no longer." The vision darkened. The shadow creature returned, bigger, stronger. The human fleets were falling. Planets were burning. Stars were dying. "We knew," the voice said, "that the darkness would return again one day." Another scene appeared. Humans entered enormous stasis chambers, millions of them. They sealed themselves away inside Titan ships like this one. Kaelor felt his heart stop. "They did not go extinct," Myra whispered. The voice finished. "We slept, waiting for the time when the galaxy would need us again." The vision ended. Kaelor and his team were back in the chamber, breathing heavily, bodies shaking. Myra wiped her eyes. "Commander, humans were the elder species." Kaelor nodded. "Not just elder," he said quietly. "Guardians." Suddenly, the chamber lights flickered. A deep alarm echoed. "Warning. Unknown entity approaching. Distance. 2 light minutes." The crew panicked. "That's too close." Myra shouted. "Nothing can travel that fast." The ship's voice replied. "It is the same enemy we fought long ago." Kaelor felt a chill race down his spine. "But why now? Why return?" The voice answered gently, almost sadly. "Because they sensed our awakening. And they know, humans are rising again." The chamber walls shifted. A giant window opened, revealing the sky above the planet. The shadow in space was now visible, a swirling black mass, moving like a living storm. Plasma from alien warships fired at it, but the beams vanished into the darkness like stones thrown into deep water. Kaelor whispered, "Nothing hurts it." The Titan ship powered up. The engines roared. The blue lines turned white. The voice spoke. "Prepare yourselves. This is only the beginning." The ship rose toward space, and the galaxy prepared to witness the return of the true elder race.
Inside the Titan ship, alarms flashed silently. The massive vessel shook under the crushing grip of the dark swarm. Outside, the shadow creature wrapped around the ship like a living storm, trying to smother its ancient power. But deep inside the Titan, something else moved. A long, cold corridor lit up one lamp at a time. Dust fell from the ceiling as ancient machinery woke after millions of years. Commander Kaelor and Mira stood frozen in the observation hall, listening to the rhythmic sound echoing through the ship. A heartbeat, slow, powerful, certain. The ancient voice of the Titan ship spoke again. Stasis chambers unlocking. Kaelor felt fear crawl up his spine. "How many chambers?" The voice answered. "One." "Just one? Only one human was waking up?" Mira whispered. "Commander, maybe one is enough." A deep tremor rattled the floor. The Titan's inner door slid open, revealing a long passage glowing with white light. The voice spoke. "Proceed to Chamber 0. The Elder is rising." Kaelor and Mira stepped onto a floating platform that carried them forward. The corridor seemed endless, lined with sealed rooms, each marked with human symbols neither of them could read. "This ship, it is a tomb," Kaelor said softly. "No," Mira whispered. "It's a cradle." They reached the end of the corridor. A gigantic circular door stood before them, covered in gold lines that vibrated like pulses of energy. The room behind it was dark, silent, untouched by time. The Titan spoke. "Warning. Psychic pressure increasing. The Elder is waking." The door slid open. Inside was a chamber filled with floating symbols, glowing patterns, and a single transparent capsule standing in the center. Inside the capsule was a human, tall, strong, almost luminous. His skin was pale silver white, as if carved from starlight. His eyes were closed, but his eyelids glowed faintly. His hair floated gently inside the chamber, like he was underwater. Kaelor felt his breath stop. This cannot be a normal human. Mira shook her head slowly. This is what humans used to be, before they slept, before they fell into history. The Titan ship spoke gently. He is called Archon, a First Dawn warrior, one of humanity's protectors. The capsule hissed. Steam escaped. Energy lines lit up across the walls. Kalor stumbled backward as a wave of psychic force exploded to the chamber, silent, invisible, but strong like gravity. Mira covered her ears though there was no sound. Commander, it feels like someone is looking inside my mind. The Titan explained. Do not fear. The Elder is scanning the environment. The capsule opened. The human, Archon, took his first breath in millions of years. It echoed like thunder. His eyes opened. They glowed bright white. Kalor fell to one knee, overwhelmed. He looks like a star in human form. Archon stepped out capsule. He didn't fall. He didn't stumble. He moved with perfect balance, like gravity itself respected him. His gaze turned toward Kalor and Mira. For a moment, the entire room went silent. Archon spoke. His voice was deep, calm, and ancient, like mountain speaking. You are not of the elder kind. Kalor bowed his head. We are from the Coalition. We found your ship. Archon studied them, quiet but intense. Then he said, The galaxy has changed. Mira stepped forward timidly. The dark swarm has returned. Your ship is under attack. Archon's eyes narrowed. The walls of the chamber shifted, forming a window showing the battle outside. The Titan was being crushed by the shadow, its golden lights dimming. Archon raised his hand. The entire ship responded instantly. Lights brightened. Energy surged. Every weapon on the Titan powered up. Kalor whispered. He is controlling the ship with his mind. Archon spoke, his tone turning sharp. The darkness was never defeated. It was delayed. But now it comes again. The Titan's voice echoed. Elder Archon, shall we activate Level 3 protocol? Archon closed his glowing eyes for a moment. When he opened them, they were blazing like twin suns. Activate all systems. Level 3. Awakening protocol. Full. Kalor held his breath. Mira grabbed his arm. Commander, what is Level 3? Archon looked at them. Level 3 means the Titan no longer fights alone. The entire ship vibrated. Ancient runes lit up across the floors. Massive energy rings rotated outside the hull. Archon lifted both hands, and golden light wrapped around him like armor forming from thin air. This wasn't a normal human. This was a prime human, one of the original Elder race. Half flesh, half energy, a living weapon. Outside, the dark swarm sensed the awakening. It screamed. A ripple of black fire surged across space. Archon stepped forward, eyes burning. Come then, he whispered. Face the first fire of humanity once more. He vanished, teleported into space. The Titan ship roared to life behind him. The true battle was about to begin. Space fell silent the moment Archon appeared outside the Titan ship. There was no sound in the vacuum, but every alien mind in the system felt his presence. A single human, glowing like a sun wrapped in human form, floating between the starship and the monstrous dark swarm. Commander Kalor and Mira watched from the Titan's observation hall, barely breathing. Commander, Mira whispered, he's not fighting like a human. He's fighting like a god. Kalor didn't answer. Words were too small for what he was seeing. The dark swarm pulsed, black, endless, hungry. It extended enormous tendrils of shadow toward Archon, trying to crush him the way it crushed the Coalition ships. But Archon didn't move. He simply raised one hand. A golden shield formed around him, thin as glass but bright as a star. The shadow struck it. The universe flashed white. The explosion sent shockwaves through space strong enough to throw alien warships off course. Light and darkness twisted violently. Even inside the Titan, the walls trembled like the ship was scared. When the flash faded, Archon was still standing, unmoved, unafraid. The dark swarm recoiled, confused, almost afraid. Then Archon spoke, his voice echoing across every comm system, every mind, every corner of the system. You survived our last war, but you did not learn. So now you face the first fire again. He vanished. In less than a heartbeat, he reappeared inside the darkness. and punched. The impact shattered a dozen tendrils into pieces. Golden cracks spread through the shadow like lightning running backwards. Kalor gasped. He broke the darkness. Physically, Myra's eyes widened. No alien could ever do this. Archon raised both arms. Energy gathered between his palms, gold, white, alive. Then, he unleashed it. A beam of pure ancient human energy cut through the dark swarm like a blade through fog. Shadow screamed. Stars trembled. Space itself bent under the force. The coalition ships watched in awe. Some crews cried. Others fell to their knees. They weren't watching a warrior. They were watching a legend. Inside the Titan ship, systems surged with new power. The ancient voice announced. Elder synchronization complete. Titan-class vessel, Argonon fully awakened. Giant golden runes lit up along the hull. Weapons recharged. Energy rings spun like halos. Archon hovered in front of the ship. Now, he commanded. Together, for the first time in millions of years, a Titan ship and an elder human fought as one. The ship fired beams of white sunlight. Archon shaped the beams into spears, directing them like he was painting with stars. The dark swarm collapsing on itself, shrinking, twisting, screaming without sound. But it wasn't done. In one violent surge, the swarm compressed itself and then exploded outward in a massive wave of black fire. The fire swallowed Archon. Mira screamed, "Archon!" Kalor grabbed the railing. No, he can't. But then, a heartbeat echoed through space. Not in the ship, not in their minds. In the vacuum itself. Bottom, bottom, bottom. The black fire began to break apart. A shape rose from within it, a glowing human form surrounded by a massive aura of golden flames. Archon stepped out, unharmed, but now his body was changing. Lines of light spread across his skin like constellations. His voice deepened, vibrating the very air inside the Titan. You used this attack on us long ago. It didn't work then. It won't work now. The dark swarm trembled. It understood. Humanity had woken up. Archon stretched both arms wide. The Titan ship responded instantly. All weapons charged to maximum. Archon shouted, "Elder Protocol, final strike." The Titan fired every beam, cannon, and spear of ancient energy it possessed. Archon caught the combined power in his hands and thrust it forward. A giant spear of pure human energy shot into the heart of the dark swarm. Space turned white. The shadow creature twisted violently, trying to escape, but the energy pinned it in place like a nail through darkness. The spear expanded, brightened, exploded. The dark swarm shattered into billions of sparks that scattered across the stars like black snow. Silence. Then, a whisper, not from the Titan, not from Archon, but from the galaxy itself. The Elder has returned. Archon floated still, dimming slowly as the energy faded from his body. Mira wiped her eyes. He did it. He actually destroyed it. Kalor shook his head. No. Look. A small black piece of the dark swarm drifted away, barely the size of a grain of dust. But alive. Archon's eyes narrowed. His voice was heavy. It survives. It always survives. And more will come. He turned toward the Titan ship. Wake the others. Myra's eyes widened. Others? How many are there? The Titan answered. Millions. Kalor felt his heart stop. Millions of elder humans sleeping across the galaxy. And now they were beginning to wake. Archon looked toward Earth. Far away, shining faintly in the distance. Prepare the galaxy, he said. Humanity is rising. The battlefield in space slowly cooled. Golden sparks from Archon's final strike drifted like fireflies. The giant Titan ship floated quiet, its weapons dimming, its ancient systems humming softly after the cosmic storm. For the first time since the fight, silence returned. But it wasn't peace. It was a silence before something greater. Commander Kalor and Mira stood inside the Titan's core chamber, their eyes fixed on Archon through the observation window. He hovered outside the ship, glowing faintly, like the last ember of a dying star. Except Archon wasn't dying. He was waiting. The Titan ship spoke. Elder Archon's energy is stabilizing. Kalor whispered. He fought a creature that defeated entire empires alone. Myra's voice shook. And this was just one elder. She swallowed. Commander, what happens when all of them wake? Kalor had no answer. Before either could speak further, deep vibrations echoed through the ship. The lights along the walls turned white, pure, bright, ancient. The Titan announced. Awakening protocol, galaxy-wide. Signal transmission, begin. What signal? Kalor asked. Mira pointed at the holographic galaxy map. All across the map, dots lit up, hundreds, thousands, millions. Each dot was a Titan ship. Each one was an elder stasis arc. And they were all waking. Kalor stepped back, overwhelmed. There were this many? The Titan responded calmly. Humanity was vast. Our people protected half the galaxy before the swarm came. But the galaxy never saw them, Mira said. How is that possible? How'd they hide all this? The Titan answered gently. We did not hide. You simply were not here yet. As the map glowed brighter, something else happened. Earth responded. A signal from the little blue planet shot across the void. Soft, old, but alive. It wasn't technology. It wasn't radio. It was a heartbeat. Bottom. Every Titan ship in the galaxy pulsed the same way. Bottom. Archon lifted his head. The mother world calls. Kalor whispered. Earth, the center of the elder race. Myra's eyes filled with awe. And now it's waking its children. Outside the Titan ship, space rippled. Golden portals opened across the system, like tears in reality. Through each portal, massive shapes began to appear. Titan ships. Dozens. Hundreds. Each one larger than mountains. Each one glowing with ancient power. Each one carrying thousands of elder humans asleep inside. The coalition ships panicked. Commander, look. Mira pointed. Alien fleets backed away in terror. Some ships fled the system entirely. Others simply hovered still, overwhelmed by the scale of what they were seeing. Kalor understood why. This wasn't a fleet. This was a returning civilization. A civilization older than every empire in the galaxy. Archon floated toward the first arriving Titan ship. As he raised his hand, a beam of gold light shot from the ship's center. A capsule opened. Another elder human stepped out. A woman this time. Eyes glowing silver. Hair floating like it was underwater. Calm. Sharp. Ancient. She looked at Archon. Brother, she said. Archon bowed his head. The galaxy calls again. The darkness stirs. She stepped forward, her gaze piercing the stars. Then we wake the shield. More capsules opened across the fleet. More elders stepped out. A chorus of ancient human voices echoed. We are the first flame. We are the lost light. We rise again. Kalor and Mira felt their legs weaken. The sight was too grand, too unreal. Kalor whispered. Mira, we were living in a galaxy built by sleeping giants. Mira nodded slowly, and the giants just woke up. Suddenly, the Titan ship's memory core activated again, not to show the past, but to reveal the future. A hologram filled the chamber. It showed the galaxy, not as it was, but as it would be, darkness spreading like cracks through glass, shadow storms forming in dozens of systems, and at the center, a massive black sun. Archon stepped into the chamber, appearing instantly through teleportation. The dark swarm is not one creature, he said. It is a hive. What we destroyed was only a scout. Mira gasped. So the real enemy is still out there? Archon nodded. Far beyond the rim of your maps. It awakens because it senses us. The final war approaches. Kalor swallowed hard. What will you do? Archon looked at him, calm, powerful, and terrifying. What we were born to do, he said softly. Protect this galaxy. He stepped closer to Kalor and Mira. You are not just witnesses, he said. You are the first of the new allies. The elder race does not rule. We guide. He paused. And we fight. A massive portal opened behind him, shining with the light of 1,000 suns. Archon spoke his final words. Tell your people this. Humanity has returned. The Titan ships moved into formation, filling space with golden light. The Elders, millions of them, prepared for a war older than the galaxy itself. Earth pulsed again, its heartbeat reaching every star. Bottom. Archon raised his hand. The fleet responded. The light grew brighter, and the stars whispered. The first fire rises once more. The end or the beginning.